Hi, I'm John Sangiovanni, Coordinator of Elementary Mathematics, and this is Math in Minutes. We are going to explore strategies for addition. We will focus on partial sums. With partial sums, we can break apart one or more addends to make the addition more efficient. Let's take a look. To find the sum of 36 and 52, I can break apart one or both addends. I might think of 36 as 30 and 6, and 52 as 50 and 2. I can now add these partial addends. "30 plus 50 is 80. And 6 plus 2 is 8. If I add these partials, I have a sum of 88. So therefore, 36 plus 52 is 88. Partial sums always works, even in situations when we need to regroup. Let's take a look at 44 plus 28. We can break apart both addends by their place value. We can think of 44 as 40 and 4, and 28 as 20 and 8. Now we can add the tens, and we can add the ones. 40 plus 20 is 60, and 4 plus 8 equals 12. Now that we have our partial sums, we can add these two numbers. 60 and 12 is 72. Therefore, 44 plus 28 is 72. When finding partial sums, we don't always have to break apart both addends. And we don't always have to break apart addends by their place value. Sometimes it's more efficient to break apart numbers into more convenient or friendly numbers. Let's take a look at 68 plus 25. We can break apart both addends by their place value. Or we might break apart numbers so that the computation is more friendly. I might think of 25 as 2 and 23. This is helpful because I can use the 2 with 68 to make a new 10. 68 plus 2 equals 70. 70 plus 23 equals 93. So 68 plus 25 equals 93. The partial sum strategy works with all sorts of addends. Let's take a look at two 3-digit addends. In this problem, we're adding 157 plus 208. We could again break it apart by its place value, but doing so might be a bit cumbersome. Let's think of some other ways to break it apart. We might think of 157 as 150 and 7, and 208 as 208. Now we can add these numbers. 150 plus 200 equals 350. 7 plus 8 equals 15. And 350 plus 15 is 365. So the sum of 157 and 208 is 365. As we can see, the partial sum strategy always works. But as numbers become more complex or complicated, it may lose its efficiency. That's why it's important for us to have many different strategies at our disposal. See you next time on Math in Minutes.